Hello and welcome to my TED Talk. This might be a little lengthy one if I can do it without going on some type of tangent. But I swear to Jesus, the amount of dumb assery found out here is from the same men and women who claim to be the only ones with a fucking brain out here. Y'all are the assholes talking. What it is everybody talking about, you new drivers need to get your head out of your ass, pay attention, and they'll just give a CDL to anybody. But yet, turn around and you stupid assholes are the same dicks that are the ones parking where you shouldn't be parking in the truck stop. It's called a no parking zone for a reason. I don't want them to boot your shit or tell you, I really don't, but at the same time, I want them to, because you're just asking for trouble parking in a situation like that. Why the fuck do y'all do that? I just watched a Werner truck almost take off the side mirror of another truck because the dick, and the Werner truck would have been 100% in the right, because the other truck's parked somewhere he don't need to fucking be right now. This truck stop is already tight enough as it is, coming out of that fuel island. If Werner would have hit that truck, Werner wouldn't have been held liable, because Dickhead McGee was in a no parking zone. Shouldn't have been there. And it's not just that, it's everywhere else. Everybody acting like they're the most important person out here. They all got shit to do. Calm down, Titch McGee. We all got shit to do. Ain't none of us fucking special. I mean, talking about get your CDL, you make all this money. But yet overcrowd the truck stops every night because you don't want to go somewhere where you got to pay for parking. You make all that fucking money, but you can't pay $20 a night for fucking parking when the truck stops get overrun. I can't stand it. I know what you're thinking, Jordan. You ever pay for parking? All the fucking time, and it ain't never been more than $20. I think the most I ever paid to park one night was $650. And that's because I woke up with a fucking boot on my truck in Atlanta. And I was 100% in the wrong for that. It was a chain reaction type of deal, because as drivers, when we see one person do it and it looks shady, but we see one in there, then another goes in there, and we're like, it just creates a chain reaction. We're like, oh, well, if they're doing it, it must be okay, because we don't know how long that other person's been there. So we just go on in there, and I pulled right into this place, and it was DeKalb County, Georgia, right outside, that's, I believe, east side of Atlanta, and down the road from Lithonia, from a dart shipper. And typically I would stay on site at Dart, but they were packed up. There was no room for me, and I didn't want to be in anybody's way. So the closest place I could find was this little listed Sitco truck stop that had the listed amenities of a convenience store, barbershop, restaurant, all that. And it was 2 miles away, and when I got there, I was like, oh, I saw another truck, but at the same time, I was like, It wasn't the ghetto, but it just, something about it didn't seem right. But I pulled in there and I didn't see any signs that said unauthorized vehicles would be towed, would be booted and or towed. And so, to the rest of this story is, I pulled in there, I went up the laneway behind that truck stop, and there was no signs there, but I parked right beside a light in the parking lot there. And it was early afternoon. It was like maybe between 3 and 4 p.m. And I ended up being up until 11 that night. And nobody ever came over, knocked on the door to say, hey, you might want to get out of here and don't stay the night, because you'll wake up with a boot. And again, I missed the signs, because the sign wasn't where I pulled in at. The sign was on the other end of the lot for the other entrance that I didn't see coming in, and that's where the signs were at. So I went to sleep, and I woke up to a boot on my truck with a guy knocking on the side of my sleeper berth And I was so tired, y'all, and I felt like such a dick. Guy was just doing his job. He was like, hey, you got a boot on your truck. And he was yelling it. And I was like, okay, I'll take care of it later. And I closed the vent. And then a few moments later, just as I'm about to go back to sleep, around 3 o'clock or so in the morning that morning, he beating on it again, and he's trying to hand something through the vent because he noticed I opened the vent to, talk to him from the back cab. And he's like, hey, take this and call this number. And at this point, I was like pissed. I was like, dude, there's a vent here. I can't take that. I was like, put it in the window right here. Fold it and put it in the window. And he's like, it's raining, it won't stick. I'm like, that's not my problem. And I slammed my vent shut and I went back to sleep. But it didn't last long because I woke up within a few minutes, cleared my head and was like, ah, shit. Like, damn, this is gonna suck. I got a boot on my fucking truck. Damn it. I got money for a boot. So I got up, got dressed, took the deal out of the window, opened the truck, took the deal out the window. And it said, you've been immobilized, you need to call this number, and the price to remove the boot is like $650. And I was like, damn, I didn't see this sign. So I got out and I started walking around the parking lot, and I found the signs where I already mentioned they were on the other side of the lot. And I was like, well, this is bullshit. They should have put some signs over here, and which led to them calling my company, which led to my company calling me, talking about, hey, man, so you parked where you shouldn't have. And I was like, apparently. And I walked around, I found the signs, man. They're all over the place. They just weren't where I pulled in on the laneway where I come in. And they're like, dude, that sucks. I was like, yeah, I know, but if there's any way the company can set this up for me, and I just pay it back out of my check, because that's how it happened. The company took care of it, and I just pay it back through my paycheck. And make a mental note to never park where there's a sign that says unauthorized vehicles could get towed or booted. Now of course the joke is signs like that means legal with a fine, and boy is it a fine. So that's just a long tidbit to the whole pay for parking deal. That's the most it's ever cost me, but aside from that and the BS, a normal truck stop that would charge you to pay for parking, it never more than $20-25. And I have no problem paying that, because the company I work for, I submit the tickets on the load, the load I'm carrying. Whenever I deliver it and I submit it, it's got different tidbits for it that you go in and you can upload pictures of your bill of ladings, your scale tickets, and then the receipts if you happen to pay for parking or tolling. The company will reimburse you for it. And so that's typically how you handle that. But most of these people are owner ops, lease ops, or independents, and they'll be the ones that'll park where they're not supposed to, and then bitch about everyone else being a dumbass not knowing what they're doing, when they'll put themselves knowingly in a situation for their shit to get fucked up because somebody don't know how to drive, like the Swift drivers or the Schneiders or the JB Hunts. Y'all go through all that shit just to avoid paying $20 for parking, but yet claim to make all that money. I know I don't make near as much as you big boys, but yeah, I got no problem paying for parking when I have to, because I'd be damned if I'm gonna put myself in a dangerous situation, wake up missing the side mirror, because I know the thing about this game is we only trust ourselves out here. We don't trust each other, and unless it's another truck that says the same shit as ours, like, hey, that's another guy that works for the same company I work for. Mike could trust him, and you'll talk to them. But my truck says this, that truck says Swift. Fuck him. Stay away from him. Or that truck says Schneider. Fuck them. Stay away from them. We don't trust anybody unless it's in our house. And we tend to stay away from each other. It's not an all friendly-go-lucky thing out here. Sometimes you run into pretty cool people, but most of the time it's all, hey, get the fuck away from me. I don't need your shit. I really don't remember where I was going with this tangent, but I hope I made my point. To the stupidity comes in all shapes. It comes from we all fuck up and we all make mistakes. I've made them. I just told the story about getting booted. That was dumbass on my part, but I owned it. And that's the difference. That guy that's parked over there right now, who could possibly get his fucking shit ripped off because some asshole in a Werner truck ain't gonna turn right at that fuel island. Now the Werner's gonna be in the right. That CDL's gonna get, that other truck's gonna get fucked up though. But he's gonna fucking cry about it. And all that we're gonna be able to tell him, the truck that's gonna be telling him is, you shouldn't have parked there. It's your fault. And people like that do stupid shit like that, that get fucked up because they do what they're not supposed to, they always want to play the perpetual fucking victim. And they are the same fucking asshole who want to go on places like the internet and call other people dumb. Make it make sense. I know this one went long, but I hope I made my point. Love y'all. Take care.